2, convert customary units of length. Let's start off with example number 1. For many of the thrill rides at an amusement park, riders must be at least 48 inches tall. Chang is 4 feet tall. Is he tall enough to ride a thrill ride at an amusement park? So we know he's 4 feet tall, but we need to know how many inches 4 feet is. When I look at a ruler, I know that there's 12 inches in a ruler. So I know that the numbers I'm going to use are 4 and 12. And I need to see if that totals up to 48. So we're going to convert 4 feet to inches. So converting means we're changing the feet, 4 of these, into, we're going to use the inches instead of the whole thing, the foot. Okay, so let's open up the document camera here. And the way that I do that is, since 1 foot is equal to 12 inches, I know that I'm going to multiply because I know that Chang is 4 of these. So I'm going to do, for example, on 12 times 4. 4 times 2 is 8. 4 times 1 is 4. So Chang is 48 inches tall. Now what I'm also going to do is I just want to go ahead and check my answer. So I'm going to, divide 48 by 4. So let's see. 4 goes into 4 one time. 1 times 4 is 4. 4 minus 4 is 0. Bring down my 8. 4 goes into 8 2 times. 2 times 4 is 8. 8 minus 8 is 0. So my answer is 12. It matches up. So my answer is correct. Okay? So what I'm going to do here is put on some answers for you. You can see what it looks like on our screen. And we were correct. 12 times 4 is 48, so 4 feet is equal to 48 inches. Is Chang tall enough to ride the rides? Yes, he is. And we did division. 48 divided by 4 is 12. So the unit of length is most often used in the United States are inches, feet, yards, and miles. These units are part of the customary system. Other countries use something called the metric system. Okay, so but in the United States we use the customary system. Key concepts, these are things to just know. These are things that should become common knowledge for you. So we know that 1 ruler is equal to 1 foot. And we know that there's 12 inches in a foot. So if we look at our math page here, 1 foot, or the abbreviation is FT, is equal to 12 inches. And I know that 1 yard is equal to 3 of these. 3 feet is equal to 1 yard. There's also 12 inches in a foot, so 12 times 3 is 36. So there's 36 inches in a yard. 1 mile is equal to 5,280 feet, or 1,760 yards. Converting is when we decide what unit we're going to use. Are we going to use feet? Are we going to use inches? Are we going to use yards, miles? So for example, if I say there's something, I have a piece of paper this long, what are you going to measure it in? You can say I have a 12-inch piece of paper. I have a 1 foot piece of paper. So converting is when you're changing from one unit to the other. Like you can either use inches, feet, yards, so on. So let's take the answers off and let's look at our example number 2. Oh, I left you with the answers here. I thought the answers were off. Okay. Here we go. Example number 2. Since you are changing a smaller unit, that's when since you're changing a smaller unit to a larger unit, then you're going to divide. If you're changing a larger unit to a smaller unit, you're going to multiply. So here's an example. We're going to convert 42 inches to feet. I'm going to open up the document camera again. And I know I want to convert 42 inches to feet. So since I'm looking for feet, I'm going to divide 42 by 12 because there are 12 inches in a foot. Now, but looking at the problem that we did for example number 1, I know that 12 times 4 is 48. So I know the number that I'm looking for up here is going to be smaller than 4. I'm going to use a 3. 3 times 2 is 6. 3 times 1 is 3. I'm going to regroup. 12 minus 6 is 6. And that is my remainder. 3 remainder 6. Okay? Let's go back over here. So one way to write the remainder is in inches. So the remainder is, let's go back to the answers. So the remainder is 6. 6 means there are 6 inches left over. So there are 3 feet and 6 inches left over. 42 inches is the same thing as 3 feet and 6 inches. Another way to write the remainder is as a fraction or a decimal. The fraction of a foot is 6 over 12, or 6/12, or 1/2, because we simplify that. 42 inches is the same thing as 3.5 feet, because 6 inches is half of 12. Okay, so it would be 3 feet and 6 inches, or 3.5 feet. So 42 inches is equal to 3 feet, 6 inches, or 3.5 feet, or 3.5 feet, 3 and 5/10. Alrighty, let's look at the next one. We're going to complete 60 inches. And the variable here, or the unknown, is we need to know how many inches are in a foot. So what I need to do is bring out my paper again, and I know that 60 divided by 12, if you know your multiplication tables, I know 5 times 12 is 60. So 5 times 2 is 10, carry my 1, 5 times 1 is 5, plus 1 is 6, 60 minus 60 is 0, so my answer is 5. 60 divided by 12 is 5, so 60 inches divided by 12 inches is 5 feet. Okay? And the next one I'm going to do is 16 yards. And I want to see what the unknown is. I need to convert 16 yards to feet. And I know that 1 yard is equal to 3 feet. So 16 times 3 is my problem here. I'm going to put it up this way. 16 times 3. 3 times 6 is 18. 3 times 1 is 3, plus 1 is 4. My answer is 48. So 16 yards is equal to 48 feet. So go back to my math page here and go over it again real quick. Okay, so 60 inches is how many feet? Well, we know that there's 12 inches in a foot, so 60 divided by 12 is 5. So 60 inches is equal to 5 feet. And we know that there's 3 of these in 1 yard, like a yardstick. So 16 times 3 is equal to 48. So 16 yards is equal to 48 feet. Let's see. Oh, turn the answers on for you again. Alrighty. Let's move on to the next page, what you're going to do. you are going to convert inches into feet. Remember, when we go from inches to feet, there are 12 inches in a foot. And then you're going from yards to inches. Okay? So remember from the first page that 12 inches is equal to 1 foot. And 3 feet is equal to 1 yard. If there are 12 inches in 1 foot, how many inches are in 3 feet? So I know 12 times 3 is equal to 36. So there are 36 inches in 1 yard. You get that? 12 inches in a foot. There's 3 feet in a yard. There's 12 times 3 is 36. We're going to change that to an I. Fix our mistake. 36 inches. 36 inches is equal to 1 yard. Okay. So, for example, you're going to work on number 3. And we have 72 inches is equal to feet. I need to change my inches to feet. So, how many feet are there? So I'm going to do 72, and I'm going to divide that by 12, because I know that there's 12 inches in a foot. Okay? For number 4, what you're going to do is you have 19 yards is equal to how many inches? So I'm going from yards to inches, so now I'm going to multiply, right? So I know 19, how many inches are in a yard? 36. And here you're going to do 19 times 36. Okay. 9 times 6 is 4, 54. 6 times 1 is 6, plus 5. 3 times 9 is 27. 3, 4, 5. 4 plus 0 is 4. 7 plus 1 is 8. 5 plus 1 is 6. So we have 684 inches. Okay. The top one, 72, divided by 12 is 6. 6 times 2 is 12. 6 times 1 is 6, plus 1 is 72. 0, 6 feet. So I gave you the answers for number 3 and number 4. Okay. So what you're going to do is go ahead and finish the rest of the problems. Remember to use, you can go back to the first page where it tells you, let's go back one more page, that 1 foot is equal to 12 inches, 1 yard is equal to 3 feet or 36 inches, and 1 mile is equal to 5,280 feet or 1,760 yards. Okay? So good luck on this assignment. If you have any questions, go ahead and message me on the stream. Down here, you're going to have to make them both inches or both feet or both yards so you're able to compare. So 24 inches is the same thing as how many feet? I know that 24 divided by 12 is 2. So that's 2 feet. Which is bigger, 2 feet or 2 feet and 3 inches? You decide. Let me know. We'll go over the answers at the end of the week.